What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of MCU Case Files by the Court of Capes, where we rank, rate, and review hero content. If you are new to the show, we are on YouTube and podcast services, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, and other podcasts. We are titled The Court of Capes. As you have found us, it is nice to be seen and heard. Thank you for joining. Well, without further ado, let me introduce what we are talking about today and who is with me. We are talking about Hawkeye Episode 3, the new MCU show on Disney Plus, titled Echoes. I am one of the judges on this podcast, the Renegade Darkness correspondent, Joshua Shelton. Alongside of me, we have the Chaos Bringer and our very own MCU conspiracy theorist, Judge Brown.
BFA. Big freaking arrow.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
True that, man. Oh, when I saw it about to happen, like, I got pretty excited. I'm definitely hyped to see some of the PIM particles in different uses. Fantastic. All right, and we also have the showman, the conqueror, Judge Cooper.
Man, I'm going to have to right or wrong and watch all of Daredevil, aren't I?
What?
Probably.
Curtis, we gotta finish it.
Probably.
You started a journey.
Yeah, do we need to just restart?
Maybe.
Dude, I'll watch it with you.
Heck yeah. We didn't get
Yeah,
very far.
All right, let's do a spin-off podcast where we rewatch Daredevil and react to that while doing the main podcast.
There we go.
All right. More stuff to do. Fantastic. We also have, as you've heard him, the young one, the WandaVisionary Special Inquisitor, Anthony Cooper.
It's the Dare Hawk Devil show. Because there's a lot of Daredevil references in here.
Yes. Yes, there is. As I said before, we are talking about Hawkeye Episode 3, and apparently there's a lot of Daredevil references that I might have missed, if I'm going to be honest. I'm a little confused. What are you guys talking about? But this episode was about mainly Echo, who we've talked a little bit about the character. Do we have any more information about the character in the comics or any other medium out there?
Well, she's the daughter of Kingpin.
The adoptive daughter.
The adopted daughter, and she specifically talks about him in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She
And
references...
We see his hand.
Yeah, we do.
Heard him a little bit.
Big
Yeah.
hand, meaty hand.
And, okay, so do we think this will be Vincent D'Onofrio or a different one? It's got to be Vincent D'Onofrio, right?
It's got to be Vincent. If they brought back J. Jonah Jameson, and,
Oh, yeah.
And what's his face? Yeah, absolutely.
It's gonna be.
Will Daredevil be canon?
Yes.
That's the bigger question.
Well, if that makes
no.
Daredevil canon, that makes like every other show canon along with it.
It
Yeah,
doesn't have to.
Including the
It
Spock.
doesn't have to.
Oh no, it does though. Like, you
No,
know,
like legit, he rarely references any of the other dudes at all in his
yeah, but
show.
they had
and
a whole show together.
Dude, they don't even reference that show in Daredevil season 3.
Well, that isn't where he ends up at the end of Defenders.
That's where
directly tied into.
Yeah, that's where it picks
Season
up.
3?
Literally, Daredevil season 3 picks
Yeah,
up
that's
at
where
the
it
end of
picks up.
Defenders.
All you gotta know is that Defenders happen and he wakes up and that's it.
I don't disagree with that because
the MCU could just retcon all of that as not happening the way you thought it did.
Legit, they could. Or they could just bring him in from another universe where that didn't happen.
yeah,
Whichever one you want to do.
if we are being introduced to the multiverse in some way, I mean that does open the door to having similar actors, but not,
the multiverse is the ultimate course correction for all the mistakes that have been made.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the
And,
ability to use actors and not consider the rest of the stuff canon.
And I mean, No Way Home is going to go a long way in answering our questions about that. Like, are those the actual characters from the movies we've seen, or are they basically like, oh, we're going to redo these characters with the same actors?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think,
Hopefully, it'll answer more questions.
I think the most likely scenario is that the Netflix stuff will be another Earth with variants.
Maybe.
But canon.
Okay. Well, anyway, let's get back to our thoughts.
I just think they'll probably just do it all as canon, in my opinion, because there's like they don't
all main universe canon.
like canon to the character of Daredevil at least. They legit the only characters that are important within that universe, besides like obviously the main actors and stuff, is like two of the shows, right? Daredevil and Punisher were the biggest shows, and they've already talked about, and John Bernthal's talked about coming back as the Punisher.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
I mean, there's been a ton of rumors anyway of Charlie Cox coming back as Daredevil. Like that's been.
Oh yeah.
There's so many rumors surrounding it. Every time people get any sort of centimeter on the possibility, they pounce on it. Like everybody believes that this will happen.
It's basically the same credibility as Toby and Andrew being back.
Yeah, because Charlie Cox literally made Daredevil even more well known, and he was already pretty well known. Like he at that point, people were like, "Oh man, he's amazing in the comics, but he has terrible showmanship on the screen." And then they reinvented him, and the comics obviously reflected that with how Charlie Cox acts within the show, like most comics do when something's successful. And also as well as the Punisher. Like I was reading Punisher War Machine, where he gets the War Machine armor, and they literally modeled his face exactly as John Bernthal.
Nice.
Like it's like the same. So I think they will be canon. I think Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Iron Fist will either never show up again or get recast.
There's a lot of Jessica Jones fans out there after the show.
Jessica Jones is amazing. It just doesn't matter to any of these other heroes. Honestly, and she never has in the comics either.
I thought the casting was great for everybody except Danny Rand.
Yeah. Well, I think they'll just go for a different actor for both Luke Cage and Danny Rand, because they're like best friends in the comics, and they team up all the time. And so it would be weird to have one actor from a universe and then change the other actor. But they did that with War Machine, but that's because they had to. So,
and we have to remember that Kevin Feige apparently hates Jeff Loeb, who was in charge of all the Netflix stuff. I'm pretty sure. So
correct.
Oh well,
we'll never see Coulson again, probably.
They were literally trying to just destroy what happened on Netflix. They're like, "Oh, this is trash. This is never so."
Yeah,
it was a huge
funding got lower and lower.
Since we got Coulson in Captain Marvel, though, there's always hope.
Yeah, sort of.
I think
either way, this is kind of like the new hairy situation that we have within the Marvel universe, because the original really hairiness was like, what's going to happen with Spider-Man? And then now the hairiness is, well, what's with all these cool characters that people like that are tied to this thing that not all the producers like? Like, what do you do with that?
Like this is more a problem of Marvel's own creation as opposed to Sony being irritating.
Yeah, that's true. It really is. I wish they had taken better steps for the Netflix and somehow made it MCU canon. Because honestly, I think I liked Daredevil maybe better than any MCU show out there.
Yeah. I think there's a great argument for that, and if I end up watching all of it, it might be number one.
Dude, because Daredevil is. I rewatched recently most of season 1, and it is so good.
Yeah,
it's so good,
incredible.
Yeah, I would put Daredevil above any MCU show.
All 3 seasons are incredible in different ways.
True.
In which is pretty crazy for a show that's 40 minutes long to have quality for 3 seasons straight.
Yeah. Anyways, boys, let's get back to the topic. Echo's episode 3 of Hawkeye. Kind of brought it up, some Daredevil references here, but I want to go around the court and kind of get your thoughts on. Yeah. I was gonna ask a question specifically what you thought of Echo as a character, and then you can give some general thoughts on the episode as a whole.
Okay. So, I really liked Echo's introduction, and for someone who knew next to nothing about her aside from what we had talked about last week, I am really intrigued by her, and I think she is a fantastic addition to the show.
Mhm.
Her obviously we'll talk more about this, but her introduction in the fact that it just starts with her backstory, I'm like, okay, now we have an interesting character and not just these jumpsuit goons or whatever.
Yeah.
And so yeah, really enjoyed her. In terms of I can wrap up my overall thoughts on the episode with just a single phrase. That's more like it.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Like now, this feels like a show that belongs next to WandaVision, Loki, Falcon Winter Soldier. Like now, it's like it's coming up to that level of the MCU show seal of quality for me.
Mm. Okay. Anthony, we'll go to you. Or thoughts on that, and are you on the same page as Curtis? Thoughts on Echo, and then
Oh, I'm 100% agree. This was probably my top 3 in terms of favorite openings in MCU shows. Like
Ooh.
of an episode. It was really emotional. It was
Yeah.
interesting. Especially like the way that they kind of cameraed around Ronan and what he was really doing.
Yeah.
And then like it goes that angle that a lot of shows go with organized crime. With a lot of organized crime is people just trying to get by when they can't get a job.
Mm-hmm.
Which that felt like that was the thing because her uncle was seemed like a pretty all right guy all around.
Yeah.
You know,
Pretty decent dude.
and the funny thing is, I didn't even notice that he was a part of the jumpsuit gang. I didn't even notice he was wearing a jumpsuit, and then I look back and I'm like, oh, that guy's wearing a jumpsuit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I
like
noticed
the whole
right
time.
there he was wearing the jumpsuit, like at the after her karate match, right?
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, oh, like that makes sense now. I get it now.
But I really liked. I liked like her whole design. I thought her design was great.
Yeah.
Like it was a very interesting how like I don't think this is in the comics, but I could be 100% wrong because I didn't check. I wasn't sure if she had the prosthetic leg or not in the comics, but I thought that was really cool.
That is really cool.
And I like the way that like all the jumpsuit dudes are wearing like red and green ones, and then she's wearing a full black one with black outlines. I thought that was fun.
Oh, I didn't even think about the fact that she was wearing one.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look like one. You think she's wearing like a leather fighting outfit? No, it's still a jumpsuit.
Oh,
And that's awesome.
That's so good.
Oh, great. All right, JC, what about you? Thoughts on Echo and, general thoughts of the show or episode 3?
Oh man, yeah, this was a nice change of pace, and some notes that I wrote down. Like, I mean, yeah, Echo, super cool character, great introduction. Yeah, prosthetic leg, that's awesome because I love the representation. That's fantastic.
Yeah, because the actress Alakwa Cox is deaf in real life.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Which is dope
for little girls to be able to look at. One of my friends from high school is hearing impaired, and she's a huge Marvel fan, and I need to talk to her about this because I imagine that she would enjoy that very much. That there's someone that is like her in the show, so that's awesome.
And I think it's cool that coming off of like the Eternals with having a character with similar characteristics, like there being like more than one deaf character in the Marvel universe. They weren't just like, okay, we gave him the one deaf character who signs, and there you go. No, it's like,
do you think it's
the
cool
world
that
is more diverse than that?
Yeah, do you think it's cool that they gave her a more like a villainous role, like in a sense?
I mean, she's villainous for now.
Yeah, for now. That's what I'm saying. Like for now.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I didn't think it was anything disrespectful.
No, I don't think so either.
No, I think it's awesome.
I think it's just important that they give such like hearing impaired characters like such prominent roles in the screen. So
and it's awesome that she's getting work as a hearing impaired actress.
Yeah.
Yes, we'd love to see it.
Exactly. So I think it's awesome all the way around. But yeah, so I really am enjoying everything that Echo is putting out right now. And I am so excited to see where they go next and what else there is to see with her. And just with the show in general, like I thought the pacing was much better in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
We got awesome action. Got to see basically Kingpin's arm, hear his laugh a little bit. A lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah. I'm in lockstep with you guys. I thought this was a huge step up for me. I don't know like how large a step. I thought this was a huge step up in terms of an MCU
Oh yeah,
show.
I didn't check my phone at all during this episode.
There you go.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So yeah, this was a huge step up. And Echo as a character, I'm really intrigued. I loved the origin stuff that they gave with her in class, her in the her discussion with her uncle, and the what is the actual term for a karate dojo? There we go. Dojo. So I thought that was really cool. I loved seeing her as a kid. I hope, I don't know, do you guys think we'll see any more flashbacks with her as a kid, or maybe her as a teenager?
Yeah,
Probably.
I think we'll see flashbacks of her with Kingpin more.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That'd be really cool. I'm really excited for that. So yeah, I thought this was a huge step up, and I'm glad for it. It still had some of the Hallmark feel to it, but just a better quality.
Yeah, I thought it did a good job of balancing all the tones that it established, like in more of a messy way in the first episodes, but bringing everything together and where everything felt like cohesive and consistent.
I agree, because I like Hallmark. Give us some Hallmark stuff.
Speaking of Hallmark, I really enjoyed something. This is what I'm gonna pick out real quick. Is the growth of the relationship between Clint and Kate.
Oh yeah, they were both excellent in this episode.
Thought that their energy together and their synergy was really well done in this episode, especially compared to 1 and 2. I really enjoyed it. What are some things, Anthony, that you really enjoyed about this episode? We can go into details now, sir.
So, probably my favorite and most heart-wrenching moment was definitely when obviously his hearing aid breaks in this episode, and then his young son comes and calls him, and then he can't hear him, and then he was gonna hang up because he couldn't really tell who it was, but then Kate comes over and starts writing it down for him and what they're saying, and it's real heart-wrenching, and it's real sad, and it's real like, oh man, he really does care about his kids, but he's made mistakes, and he's also like, he just has a hard time now with his newfound like issue with the hearing, and he wants to be home with his kids.
And he still cares about helping people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why he's there, is to help people. It's not because like, oh man, he's trying to like catch a thrill or something. He doesn't want to do this, but he knows he needs to.
Yeah. That was kind of hinted at with the conversation he had with Kate, about sacrifice and stuff like that.
And one last thing is, I really liked Haley does a fantastic job with the few roles I've seen her in, but like showing emotion in like very emotional scenes. Like instead of like going like a full like direction into like crying or like a full like discomfort, it's kind of a gradual thing, as like, she hears more and more about like, oh, it's okay if you can't make it to Christmas, Dad. It's fine, and all that stuff. And she's like slowly like, oh man, this is really hard on him, because she didn't know about any of this stuff.
Her eyes are getting like a little bit puffy as it goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she's like writing faster, and it's like, easily probably a top like 5 scene in the MCU shows for me. I really connected with it.
Me too.
That's great. Yeah, I agree with everything you're saying, and I thought that was really enjoyable. As we've said multiple times, a huge step up and in a lot of things. And I love that we're touching on the emotional aspect of the episode, despite there being a ton of great action scenes within this episode as well.
It was so well balanced.
Yeah, it was.
As all things should be.
Yes, as all things. Okay, JC, man, what do you got? What is something that really spoke to you or in this episode?
I mean, yeah, the best moment from the show, hands down, in my opinion, was Hawkeye on the phone with the sun. That was amazing, and it was just, I thought it was really cool how they played up the idea that, yeah, Hawkeye is pretty much deaf without his hearing aid, like
Yeah.
all the way. And they played with that in a fun way in the action scene and in just how he communicated with Haley, with Kate Bishop, like a couple times when she would say something and then he would basically say the same thing, and it was really funny, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And that was done really well, and how that humor of the hearing loss also played into the action as well. That was really cool. So yeah, there was a lot of really cool stuff that happened in this episode, and I hope this same energy continues on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree. I absolutely love it. Curtis, what is something specific that stood out to you about this, like within this episode?
I mean, it's aside from what's been said, I loved the Big Arrow gag.
Yeah.
Like there are some times in the MCU where it feels like it's just kind of cannibalizing itself a little bit. We're like referring to the same MCU stuff over and over and over again. Like, for example, like them always having to go back to Avengers 1 or something happened in Avengers 1 and it impacted something. Come on, give Age of Ultron a little more love, please.
There you go.
But anyway, I love them pulling that from like Ant-Man. And that was that was so much fun, and it just makes me just a little bit even more hyped for Ant-Man 3.
Oh man, the Ant-Man.
Just seeing the little Pym particle logo is just so good.
Oh yeah, as if Kang himself wasn't enough for that movie.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. True that. Oh man, I feel like we could go off down another road, but let us not.
Just throw it out there.
But guys, you're bringing up some great aspects about this episode and how much fun it was, and just how much of a higher quality this episode was for 1 and 2. I don't think I would say I was dreading to watch episode 3. I was looking forward to seeing what was going to happen because the story does intrigue me, but I wasn't like super hyped. But now, after episode 3, if we can keep this trajectory, like I said for episode 2, if we can keep this trajectory, we're really hitting some great, amazing top tier content.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and I just want to say that I thought that this was a true return to form for the Disney Plus shows, because I felt the same level that I did with WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, with the endings just being way, like, it was jarring, and I was just like, what? That could not have been 45 minutes, because it was paced, and that was what I loved so much about the first 2 shows. They were just paced so well that it was like gut wrenching, and it just left you wanting more, and I liked that feeling.
Yes, absolutely. Oh man, do we have?
I have no idea where I would rank this show so far, though.
Yeah, it's a little hard because I wouldn't say it's inconsistent, because there was a trajectory, 2 being better than 1, and then 3 being better than 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would agree. I don't know where I would rank it. Honestly, I don't think I could rank it till probably till halfway through the show.
We are halfway through.
There's only 6 episodes?
Yeah.
Dang it! I am uninformed. Okay,
but
then I
can't. If every episode is better than the last, then I mean,
yeah, we're on
it. It could be top tier.
Yeah.
Honestly, which I love that for Hawkeye, Clint,
he deserves
Kate,
it.
and Echo, seeing where that's gonna go, and when Natasha's sister shows up, if she does.
Hawkeye's just like, who the heck is yelling?
Oh man. I don't. If we're halfway through the show, do we really seeing her show up?
What if she's what if she's working with Kingpin?
Oh man,
that would be
That's
wild.
true.
But then that would just, I feel like if she was working with Kingpin, they wouldn't reveal that till like the last episode, maybe as the end of the credit scene, and then
Yeah, I think that if anything, we'll see her in the last episode. I don't think we see her before that, and it might be leading to something different down the lane.
What does anybody have an idea of what show or movie that story could be, continued in?
No clue. No clue.
maybe maybe the Echo Disney Plus show.
True.
Yeah.
Seems the most likely.
Yeah. Seems like the only likely. It's really hard to be. I haven't looked at the entire timeline yet to see what.
Or unless the whole like Yelena Hawkeye beef is part of maybe a possible Young Avengers buildup. Because if she were going to be part of that, then part of her story arc would be like, oh yeah, like getting to know Hawkeye and be like, oh, he's a good guy.
True.
Okay. Do we think that there's a Young Avengers initiative separate from what could be like the main Avengers? We could have 2 teams or 3.
Oh, definitely.
I think that's eventually what they're building up to. At least multiple teams. I don't know if it's Young Avengers specifically.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm almost positive they'd be stupid not to give us a full-on Young Avengers team. Like, come on,
man. I hope that would be good.
Like, it's not gonna be a big formal thing that like extends for a long time. Probably, like even the Avengers in the MCU have been like inconsistent at best in terms of a team. Very sporadic, but we're gonna have like a good Disney Plus Young Avengers show and/or Young Avengers movie, like almost guaranteed.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Kate Bishop leading the Young Avengers.
Heck yeah, I'm here for it. She'll do a great job, in my opinion.
Because I was thinking earlier before Spider-Man got all of this No Way Home and all that stuff. I was thinking like, oh, he could be the leader of the Young Avengers. But now where they're placing him, he's probably going to be the leader of the main Avengers, I think.
Yeah, and he's going to be like 17 years old.
Yeah.
Younger than a lot of the Young Avengers.
Yeah, for real.
Because Kate Bishop's what, like 20, 21?
She's 22, I think.
Yeah, I think she said 22. She was 22.
Yeah, because she's my age, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's good, like 4 years older than Peter.
Man. Yeah. Oh man, I'm so hyped, guys.
But I don't think they would put Peter in the Young Avengers at this point.
No, I don't think so either. I think he's
Here's what I think they might do. I think they might just call, if they were going to make like a Young Avengers movie, I think they would just call it Avengers : something.
Avengers : Young.
I don't think Young would be in the title. I really don't. I think people
What
would
about
think that.
What about the new Avengers?
Maybe.
I could see that.
I think people would think of the Young Avengers as too cutesy.
Yeah. I would say the new Avengers would be cool. Like New Avengers.
Or there's so many different Avengers titles. Like there's also Secret Avengers and all that stuff, which I want to see a Secret Avengers movie because Moon Knight's in that.
And they could always just rip off a different name, like the West Coast Avengers or something, even though they don't have anything to do with it. Because like obviously like Age of Ultron, the movie had nothing to do with Age of Ultron, the comic book. Same with like Infinity War.
Age of Ultron, the comic book, Wolverine's the main character.
Really?
Yep.
Man.
Oh man, if only we could have.
He goes back in time to kill Mr. Fantastic, and then Ultron's like, "That's what I wanted you to do," and then he takes over.
What?
Yep.
Wait, he actually kills Mr. Fantastic?
Yeah.
Well,
dude, Wolverine gets stuff done.
Wolverine.
I think it was either Mr. Fantastic or Hank Pym, or he might have killed both of them. One of the two.
Too?
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it to prevent Kang because of the
Richards? It was to prevent Ultron, and then Ultron's like, That's not how it works. And then I read it like 7 years ago, but like that's what I remember.
Oh man, that's
Dang.
amazing.
That sounds like a line that's recommended. Guys, I want to read that now.
I know,
Now
right?
most people didn't like it, but I liked
Yeah.
it.
That sounds pretty wild, but honestly, if you read a lot of Moon Knight, you're ready for wild. Like,
Well, it's not that kind of wild. It's more like, oh, this is messy.
Yeah, like really, like very like comic booky.
Uh,
No, it's very like, okay, we need a big event this year. This will be the big event. And then it's like, oh man, I think we didn't think about all of the stuff that goes into time travel. So
yeah.
Yeah,
When
I'm
you introduce
sure
time
the-
travel, it's wild.
I'm sure the power levels are all over the place too.
oh, dude, there's never been consistent power levels for anything. So that doesn't
No.
matter.
There really hasn't.
yeah. Man, that's crazy though. Like Kevin Feige's just like, let's take the name.
Yeah,
And that's it.
we'll see.
Because the storyline they roughly adapted for Age of Ultron was Vision's kind of like couple origin comics mixed with a couple other things like 8 years later. So it's not a story from the comics at all.
Huh.
Age of
So-
Ultron is just a cool name.
It is.
It is a cool name.
So okay. Who of the Young Avengers do we have in the MCU right now? We got
We will
Kate
have
Bishop.
Kamala Khan. Kamala Khan.
Kamala Khan. I don't know if she's ever been on the Young Avengers, but she'd probably be in the MCU version.
Well, I
Um,
mean, I assume Riri Williams would be.
Riri Williams probably would be on the team. We got Billy and Tommy because I'm sure they're going to bring them back.
I don't know, man.
Oh,
I feel
gosh.
I feel like they might only come back for Doctor Strange 2, and then it'll be like, this is an abomination, Wanda. What are you doing?
It's pretty wild. It's murky water for them, I think.
I'm gonna go with no on that one from my personal takes.
I'm gonna go with no as well.
I'm a hard yes.
Oh man.
And America Chavez is a prominent character in Doctor Strange too.
Mm,
Is
Who's
she?
that?
Yeah.
She's
that's
she's America. What I think that's her name,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
She can like punch holes in the multiverse.
we have another team that's being built as well. With that's being recruited.
What's that?
When they agent what's her name? Why am
Oh, the
I
bad
forgetting?
guy,
Val.
Mountain
Yeah.
Viper.
Yeah.
Yeah, Val's team. That's true.
Do we think that would be the team that would fight this Young Avengers?
I'm
Probably.
In the
kind
movie.
of leaning that way, but with
Seems
what we
like it.
did with John, like his conscience at the end, like I don't know. I really think they shouldn't have done that. That was so
No. So I really liked hating him, and I still do hate him.
Yeah.
I kind of hate him more that they tried to make me like him.
It was so inconsistent with his performance, though. He was so good before, and then like
Yeah, his performance was great. That wasn't the actor's fault.
no,
Oh, no,
it
no.
wasn't. It was the writers for sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, obviously, Cap
mean-
is not going to be in the Young Avengers. Or
Do we agree that Yelena would be part of it or not?
The villains?
No, actually either team.
It seemed like she was being recruited for whatever team other one's going to be, not the new Avengers.
True.
Yelena seems too old to be a part of the Young Avengers.
Well, it's not Young Avengers. It's the new Avengers.
Yeah, it's probably gonna. It's literally probably gonna be the new Avengers. They're just not gonna call it that.
Yeah.
I'm never not gonna say Young Avengers until the MCU says otherwise.
Okay.
Now, JC, you like the Young Avengers because of the movie?
Yes. Which has
Which
nothing to do with any of these characters, and it's probably a bad movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've never heard anyone talk about this movie besides you.
And that's a completely fair argument. But I still like the idea a lot. Because it's kind of like the Teen Titans. Like, it could be the MCU version of the Teen Titans. And I like that.
Or the MCU version of the Superhero Squad. That's what I want.
I really thought you were about to just say of the Titans show.
No. See, I like the superhero squad.
Yeah.
Hero up.
Are we gonna pitch that for the Court of Capes?
No, because it's much worse than I remember.
We are also getting like Fantastic Four back.
Wait a second.
Yeah, we are. Directed by John Watts.
And Blade.
Man, the
I
MCU
wonder-
really is never going to cross over all the way again, is it? All these storylines are going to kind of go outward and never come back inward, kind of like in an Endgame scenario.
I feel like there's too many characters and stories for it to come back inward. Like,
Yep.
100% agree.
Which means, will the MCU ever have anything as hype as Endgame ever again?
No Way Home. I mean, we're seeing it right now.
I mean, for some people maybe, but like I doubt. There's like a 1% chance that it eclipses Endgame for me.
Okay.
Maybe half of a
I feel like
1% chance.
I feel like the current hype for No Way Home is higher than it was for Endgame. I think
No.
I really think that. I think that tickets. I think
No
tickets.
way.
No, absolutely. It has a way higher general appeal than Endgame did.
Not even close.
Oh yeah,
It's
Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man.
It's gonna make like half of what Endgame did,
Oh
which
no.
is still like $1 billion.
If not for the pandemic, No Way Home would have outsold Endgame.
No, it wouldn't have.
No, yeah, it would have. No, I absolutely
it
believe
would
that it
not.
would have.
No.
JC, help me out here.
No, Josh, I love your enthusiasm because I'm probably as big of a Spider-Man fan as you are, but no, I mean, people love Spider-Man. It makes a lot of money, and it would have probably made maybe.
I think that's why it has a higher general appeal because of Spider-Man.
I think it could have grossed as high as Black Panther, 1.3 billion.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe as high as 1.5, maybe. But it would not have grossed anywhere near $2 billion, Josh.
I think we'll see.
It's not big enough of a. It's not the culmination of a 10-year story, and it's not.
It's also not coming off of an Infinity War.
Yeah, that too. Like, yeah. I mean, Far From Home made $1 billion, and that's good. And this movie would have topped it, but it's not gonna make $2 billion. It just wouldn't have. I'm sorry.
You say wouldn't as in the past.
I'm saying it as if the pandemic didn't happen.
It's
It's definitely not.
I feel like, well, first of all, the pandemic changed a lot of the timelines and everything like that. I don't know. But no, I do believe that if the pandemic hadn't happened, that tickets initially would have, like, the first few days would have outsold Endgame.
Nah, I don't think so.
No, not at all. Not at all. There's not going to be another movie that's going to make that much money for a long, long time.
Yeah,
I don't know if Marvel will ever be able to duplicate what they did with Endgame.
Because they literally had the perfect storm. Almost nothing got leaked. They built up 10 years of lovable characters and then killed half of them. And then they said, see ya in a little bit and come watch this movie next year. And they're like, what? Of course, everybody's going to go. So even if most of the people who saw Endgame have only seen Infinity War that went to see it, and of the general populace, and they were still hooked to go see what happens.
And there's a ton of people that went to see Endgame and it was their first MCU movie just because it was the popular thing to do.
Yep.
Like, I don't think, it was lightning in a bottle that's going to be very hard to duplicate.
And there's also the fact that Infinity War and Endgame, even amongst all this crazy, like, perfect storm of stuff, both movies are also, like, some of the best written Marvel movies ever made, which is insane to think about. The fact that those work at all, let alone how much they do work, like, that also contributed to the ticket sales.
Yeah. And there's the fact that this is a Sony movie at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Like, I think that Kevin Feige and John Watts, if it was just up to them, I don't think they would have brought any of, like, the old Spider-Man stuff back.
Yeah, I don't think they would have either.
I think they just would have told their own story.
Yeah, that's very possible. But the
entire multiverse is because of that.
But Kevin Feige worked on those movies, I think. so he has some nostalgia for them.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
He did work
I see him as more of a like a visionary as opposed to like a what's it called, like innovation instead of like making the same thing over and over again except slightly better.
Right. Yeah. No, I know what you're saying.
I don't know. I really think that it has. I mean, even in the first 24 hours, like watching the trailer for No Way Home, like shattered in game.
Oh, well, I think that the trailer, like putting that under a microscope, the trailer for No Way Home is more impactful than the trailer for the first Endgame. But it's because the trailers for Endgame were all lies.
Yeah, they were all lies, and they didn't show anything exciting.
But you didn't know that until. I mean, well, yeah, I wouldn't
Well,
say.
I mean, we all knew they weren't telling us anything, and we were like, oh yeah, like they could show me nothing about this movie. In fact, I kind of thought for a while that they would never show us any Endgame trailers.
Yeah, me too. And we basically didn't have any good trailers. They showed us nothing.
Oh yeah, like the Endgame trailers, if I were to rank all the Marvel trailers, down on the list.
Oh yeah, way down.
Now the first Infinity War trailer, super banger. But
Well,
I
we'll
digress.
see. We'll see. I think the movie was gonna do absolutely amazing. I think it's gonna do maybe a little better than you guys expect, but that's just me.
How much money does this movie make, Josh? Like currently, with the pandemic, like involved, how much money does this movie make?
1.75 billion.
1.75 billion. Okay.
Maybe. I mean, it's gonna come. Maybe it'll come closer to 2 than I think. But
To
1
2 billion?
1.1.
Yeah, I think
no, I
It-
think
1.1 at the max, dude. If anything, I'll be surprised. I'm still going to be surprised if it cracks a billion still with
yeah.
with
No
Universal.
No movies come even close to that.
No. Let me read you the MCU grossings of this year so far, if I can get that up.
but there's
It's
no
loading.
MCU movie that's come close to this in terms of hype
Oh, it's
Or-
gonna
or
kill
show.
the other ones.
or
in
shows.
comparison.
Like I think based on, I guess this is hype and just my feel. I feel like this movie is going to shatter any MCU movie or show that ever came out this year.
Oh, I agree.
Like any of them.
Oh yeah,
I
it's
totally agree.
gonna get way bigger.
Like way bigger. Like they'll look like garbage compared to this movie almost.
Well, I mean, quality wise, I don't think I agree, but in terms of ticket sales, yeah.
Okay, this is what I'm reading right now, according to this one website, thenumbers.com, which could be lying. I have no idea.
I
But
believe it.
This is what I'm seeing. Black Widow currently has about $377 million worldwide.
Sounds about right.
I mean, the movie wasn't that good, so that makes sense.
Eternals has approximately $384 million.
Yep, sounds about right.
Yeah, that's.
Shang-Chi has about $418 million.
Makes sense.
I thought that movie made more, but all right.
Exactly.
So
So
I think Spider-Man No Way Home will make $800 million.
for comparison, by the way, I think a comparable movie to all of them is Ant-Man and the Wasp. It made
Ooh.
$623 million.
Yeah.
So those movies should have at least made that.
Yeah. I
Like,
think
at least.
Shang-Chi specifically, Shang-Chi could have been $1 billion movie.
Yeah, it could have easily.
Well, I
think
guess
it would-
I'm just unaware of how impactful the pandemic has been to.
Oh, very. Very.
It destroyed the box office.
Well, I know Black Widow would have made more if they had not made it DC or like Disney Plus movie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That contributed to all of these numbers being lower. Definitely.
Yeah. So this will be
and,
the first MCU exclusive to the movie theater, correct?
Eternals was.
Oh,
Eternals was.
Yeah, but
And that
didn't-
movie made like no money.
Yeah,
Well, because it was divisive.
it was very divisive.
Yeah, and it's still pandemic. But no, I mean Spider-Man will be very lucky if it cracks $1 billion. It's going to make more than 800 million.
I don't know, man. I think
unless the
giving it
Omicron
double what Shang-Chi made is pretty good.
So the real question is, what title are we getting to whoever gets the closest?
No. Like, I want to change my answer because mine was.
No, you said your answer, Josh.
No, bro. Not at all. No.
Hey,
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to our thoughts
Whoa, Josh,
on episode 3 of Hawkeye. This is not even supposed to be about this. This is not even supposed to be about this. We're literally supposed to give the review to Hawkeye episode 3. Like, we've gone down multiple paths.
Everyone, all 3 of our listeners know what they signed up for when they picked it up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, exactly. So the question is, what title are we gonna put on the line here? Which one are we gonna get? Because there's always the Gambler. That's a fun one. There's the Money Boys. There's a bunch of them. JC, you like money. Which one would you?
I think it's got to be Spider-Man related.
You think so?
Yeah.
No,
I can't.
It has to
I was gave that no. Okay, I didn't. I was unaware, obviously, of how impacted the movie theaters were being by the pandemic, and I thought that we had opened up a little more to the point. Can I change my answer?
All in favor of letting Josh change his answer?
Yeah, I'll let him do it.
Yeah, I'll let him change it.
Well,
Yeah.
my vote's no, but I guess I'm outranked.
Me and Anthony
JC just wants that Spider-Man related title.
But okay, so that means we all get a free redo now.
I mean, well, you guys obviously had a more realistic perspective.
And we're doing Price is Right rules, where if you go over, you're automatically disqualified.
Really?
Oh, man.
Or like if it's too much, then you're automatically disqualified.
You know, Josh, I believe in personal growth, and I appreciate that you're willing to grow in your opinion. So I will give it to you.
Oh my god!
Unanimous. There you go, John.
Yep.
You guys are
Yep.
ridiculous.
Josh can have the redo.
All right.
Final answer this time, Josh.
1.2 Bill.
All right, that's his answer.
That's
All
his
right.
answer.
Locked in. I'm sticking with 800 million.
I'm going with square 1 billion.
Ooh.
925 million.
I love how we're all cutting off each other, and if it makes less than that, then I am making off like a bandit.
Yeah, honestly, which should be really sad. That would be super sad.
But
If it gets less than 800 million, I'm gonna be sad.
Are we setting the cutoff date for when it comes out on Blu-ray?
Yeah,
that's a good question.
That's a good idea.
So this title's not gonna be given for a while.
I think 1 month after release, or comes out on Blu-ray, whichever happens last.
Okay, 1 month after release then.
Yeah,
I'll
basically.
tell you, we could in a future date, like right when the movie comes out and we review it, that's when we decide on what name it is, and we all bring forth a name.
I like that.
That's a good idea. That gives us time to ruminate.
And then we will hand out the name on January 16th, or at least whichever podcast falls around that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, there you have it. Our thoughts on Hawkeye episode 3, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. It's been a growthful show so far. And conversation as we've gone off many paths. As you can tell, we're kind of hyped for MCU right now and just Marvel stuff in general. It's a lot of fun. Well, with all of that said, it's been real.
It's been zany.
Pizza dog.
Pizza
Dog!
Oh man, numerical stats.
And may Daredevil come to the MCU.
Please.
Please.
Peace out.